Inside the 15th episode of Outsourcing Live, I interview a well-known internet marketer who's built a six-figure business after quitting his job as a general manager at Mercedes-Benz. He shares how he uses outsourcing to leverage and create multiple businesses whilst allowing him to work part-time. Also, inside the quick tip, I review a job network site that helps you find Filipino virtual staff. Let's roll it!
Welcome to the Outsourcing Live podcast, where you will learn to build a virtual team to run your business. And now, your host, Tyrone Shum.
Hi everyone, it's Tyrone from tyroneshum.com. Today I've got a really special guest on the call today, and his name's James Schramko. And I wanted to get James on the call today because I've been speaking to James previously, and he's got a really interesting story that I wanted to share with you. And with my business here and also his business, we all like to look at creating a lifestyle and also looking at generating different types of passive income. So I thought, why not get James, who's also an Aussie from Australia, and also wanted to just share with you his story. So welcome onto the call, James.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I know we've met previously in the past at a conference and also been sort of chatting over Facebook and Skype a few times as well. I just wanted to let the audience know, for the people who don't know who you are, maybe just give them a little background story of where you started from and how you got into internet marketing and where you are now.
Sure. Well, I started part-time like pretty much everyone else, and I found it very difficult like everyone else. And the fact was, I was running Mercedes-Benz dealerships in my day job. I had lots of staff, and it was quite an intense job. And I figured that I should be able to apply my business skills to the internet marketing side of things, realizing that the internet gives you a lot more opportunity for automation and for leverage. I just found it so hard, and I chipped away at it for several years until finally I could break free from full-time work. My goal was to match my income, which, since I was on $300,000 a year, was quite an objective.
Yes.
And that was about 2 years ago. I quit my job then.
That's great.
And ever since then, the internet business has been growing, and it's sort of led to other opportunities as well. As you know, hardly any businesses understand internet marketing. So I've got myself in a position now where pretty much anyone I want to work with is happy to collaborate or give me equity in their business or profit share if I join forces with them. So that's a bulk of my business now, is getting involved with businesses and turning them into more profitable businesses using especially internet marketing skills.
Nice. So what led you to want to create what you've created right now? Because obviously you're on a pretty good income back at working at Mercedes, and I think a lot of people would probably be envious of you because you get to drive nice cars too and show nice cars as well. So what was the reason for the change?
Well, if you read any of these cash flow type books, you realize that having a job is pretty much just stalling your life. I was capped at $300,000. I couldn't make $1 million a year doing that job. I had no equity in the business, and it didn't work for me when I wasn't working for the business. So, the day comes that you stop working for the company, your income stops, and that's not a good solution for anybody. So I would suggest that the only true freedom comes from having your own business. I wanted to have more income. I wanted to have more freedom, and I wanted to be in control, because you're not in control when someone else is telling you what to do and when you have to work for other people. And there's no way you can possibly automate it and leverage it unless you get some form of equity or become a business owner. So that was my driving force.
Absolutely. Wow, that's really amazing. I just wanted to ask you, maybe make a quick comparison. So for people out there, how many hours a week were you working in your job at Mercedes-Benz, and how many hours are you currently doing right now?
Well, towards the end, I was doing probably about 50 to 60 hours a week in my full-time job, because I was in a general management role. So I'd managed to whittle that down a bit from 70. And I was doing about three to 4 hours a day on my internet marketing business on top of that, 7 days a week.
Wow.
So I was probably pulling some pretty hefty hours, but I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if we fast forward that to now, when you consider things like sleeping in and
we love that.
and doing things like riding your bike and non-work activities, I'm probably putting in about 4 hours a day on my internet business. So the main change was I dropped my full-time job and became a lot more productive with my internet marketing.
Mm. And a lot of people are probably going, wow, how did you do that? And I know it's probably going to be more than an hour long to be able to talk about that and go into details. But I think it'll be really cool just to maybe share with them how briefly in your story leading up to becoming where you are right now, to be able to go from 60 hours a week down to like 4 hours a day at most. I mean, that's something that you choose to do, because do you have to work in your business now?
Yeah, because of the business model and the strategy that I'm using, I am working more than I would have to do. And it also comes back to what sort of income level you want to grow your business. So, if I was happy just to make $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 a year, I could probably work for 30 minutes a day, because I have about 12 different businesses that I'm operating at the same time, and each one of them is a six-figure a year business. So if I wanted to pare down some of the more active ones, then it would reduce my workflow. For example, I have a mastermind group. It takes me 2 hours per week, and it generates in excess of $150,000 a year. So if I just wanted to do that, I could work no more than 2 hours a week. The reality is I'm building a seven-figure empire here that's on its way to 8 figures. So I'm well into the ones now for the $1 million plus turnover. And my goal is to get to $10 million a year. So for now, I'm prepared to put in the 4 hours a day. How did I get to that scenario? I'll give you the very shortest version.
Nice.
Is I became an affiliate. I built websites selling software, and I got very good at the whole affiliate thing, offering bonuses, creating free newsletters, getting traffic to it from forums and blogs and articles and pay-per-click and search engine optimization. And then I created products that help people do those things, and then I became, guess an information marketer, and built up my customer base slowly and steadily, full of buyers. I just always focused on buyers. And after I got that, every step of the way, I was able to lock in that sort of profit and then add extra services and extra pricing levels. So I built a membership community, which is one of the staple sort of businesses I have. And that's a very, very profitable business. And from there, I was able to leverage into masterminds, mentoring, and then finally building, sort of doing business deals where I can assume companies and do them over and then sell them, basically. So it's been an escalating hierarchy.
And you said that it's taking you roughly how long again? Was it, you said since you left job was about 2 years. How long is it taking you to get to where you are now?
I think I'm up to about five, probably coming up to my 6th year now. 6th
year on this. That's great. I just wanted to ask you as well, if we take a step back, you said that you started off with affiliate marketing and you started to also promote different affiliates. Something like that for anyone who's really just looking to start out and who's wanting to create like a lifestyle like you've created for yourself, what would you say is something that you could recommend them start off with first? Like, obviously, because you've done quite a lot there and there's quite a lot of things that you've got in your business. Someone just starting out would like to know, what do I do first?
I think every single person watching this should learn how to sell. If you look at all of the most successful marketers and business people, they are able to sell. And for us, we'd call it copywriting. But if you can learn how to sell, if you can compel people to take action, regardless whether it's your product or someone else's, if you can make it attractive for people to move forward, then that is a skill that is going to translate into everything you do, whether it's on your sales letter or your blog. And that's probably a fundamental skill.
Okay. And on top of that, obviously, you haven't done all this yourself, have you? I mean, have you got a team that's backing behind you to help you do all this stuff as well?
Yep. Like most people, I started by myself, and there's only so far you can get. One of the first things I outsourced was article writing, because I really don't like writing articles. I'm a very slow typist, and it's not my core skill.
That's me too.
That's it. So, as soon as I did that, I did the numbers in my head. I thought, well, if I pay X to have them written, and then I can make more than that in commission, I should be doing that. And that's where I really started to grow my business. And then from there, I outsourced a help desk, which allowed me to provide more services, because service-related businesses require more support, but they're also more profitable. And then I started outsourcing design, because I'm not a good artist. I can't use Photoshop. And it was ridiculous for me to spend this time trying to learn how to create banners and stuff when I could just pay someone to do it. And then I eventually moved into having other people build my websites and run my pay-per-click. And now I have teams all around the world. I've got a whole team in India who do just traffic and search engine optimization. I have a team in the Philippines who do everything from transcriptions, design, website construction, content, traffic, backlinks, optimization, conversions, analytics, videos, account creation. They do everything. And I have a designer in the UK, and I have an article writer in Australia, and I have an event manager as well who helps me prepare workshops, because they're a high profit item, great for product creation and also for customer appreciation. And that end of the business, you just need to have support, unless you plan on working 22 hours a day.
Absolutely. And no one likes that, right?
No, I think most, even if you're passionate about it and you love it and you're happy to do the work, you still want to leverage the work that you do. You want it to be the highest value activity at all times. And I know you write about that. You talk about the 80-20 rule and Parkinson's law. And it's always that same thing. And Jay Abraham talks about it too. The best and highest purpose for my time is to be the strategist and the marketing guy, thinking of how I can leverage all of my resources even better.
Exactly. I totally agree with you on that one, because I think we all have the potential to do it. It's just the question is, no one really likes to sit back and think about things at times to be able to get other people to do it. And once you can leverage that and you can take out what's in your mind, because that's the biggest challenge, I think, is getting whatever's in your mind, putting it down on a computer, a mind map, whatever you want to do, and then finding a team to be able to execute, basically, to be able to get the work done for you.
Yeah, I think there's two parts to that, Tyrone. One is for new people, they say, well, what would I outsource? Because they don't actually know what the right things are. So that's one of the biggest challenges. It took me a long time to figure out what the right things are. And once you know what you're supposed to be doing, once you've figured out a way to convert and make profit, then you feel like a frustrated artist. Like, how can I get more of this out there? How can I be doing 10 times this? Once you know the trick that makes the money come in, you want to do as much as you can. Like, for example, yesterday I bought 34 domains from somebody that are all around the same product and topic. Now, I can't wait to have these developed and up there and getting traffic, because I know I can make money from them. There's no question, because I already have half a dozen websites in that exact same market. So the big tipping point is knowing how it works. And for some people, they might have to do it themselves originally to get that profit. As soon as you get to the point where you can make $1 turn into $1 plus something, $1.10 or $2, that's when you should outsource like crazy. Because for most people, it's a chicken and an egg. I'm not going to outsource till I make a big profit, but you won't make the big profit until you outsource. So
exactly,
if you want to get into the high income bracket, you're going to have to get someone else to do some heavy lifting for you, especially if you can do some arbitrage. If you can get a high income back from a lower investment in what it costs to get it done, you should be doing it as much as you can.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you on that one. If a lot of people do struggle with starting to outsource, and which is what I talk a lot about. And I think the thing is that I always say to them, look, if I start all over again and I was to run my business from scratch again, the first thing I'd do is to find teams around me to get the work done, because I know I'm lazy and I know that I have a tendency just to sit back and just look and enjoy it. But when you want the work to be done, you've got these teams around you where you can allow you to sit back and just all you have to do is think and strategize everything in mind, which I can see what's happened for you quite very, very, very fast and leveraged very, very quickly as well too.
Well, I've more or less recreated my old job, but with all the good bits and none of the bad bits. The bad bits were not having control and having to drive off to work every day in a suit. And
well, look at you now.
yeah, that's right. So I've recreated that leverage of having a team, but I do it on my own terms, and that's probably the most important element of freedom is doing something because you're driven to do it, because you're passionate about it, and because you enjoy it, and it gives you the choice to do that.
That's fantastic. I also wanted to find out as well, with the lifestyle that you've created, now that you've got a leveraged business and you've successfully outsourced a lot of the things that you've got, and also you're living a lifestyle, what are some of the things that you enjoy in life at this point in time?
Well, they're quite simple. I'm collecting mountain bikes for some reason. I try and ride every day or every second day. It's a 9.3 kilometer track around my area here that I like to ride on, and I go with friends. And that's something that I didn't get to do that before. I was really trapped in the office. The other things that I like to sleep in. I don't wake up till 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And I like to walk down to my local coffee shop bare feet in a t-shirt and just sit there when all the rush is gone. And I just skim through the paper and enjoy just skimming through my iPhone and just have a look at what's going on and then plan my day.
Nice.
And then I just come home and I do something that I want to work on. And the other thing is, you can stay up as late as you want if you're in the zone or you want to do a project or something or whatever. There is no start or finish time, so it's completely up to you. And I particularly enjoy that flexibility because you know what it's like. Sometimes you're on, and if you're not on, you're not. So I also like to just pull up on that couch behind me and grab a book and just read the book. I get books delivered by the sackful here, from Amazon. And I'm trying to read a book every day or two at the moment. And again, it's something I have a passion for that I just didn't have the opportunity to do before.
By the way, talking about books, with the new iPad that's come out, it's been out for a few months, quite a lot, and also the Amazon Kindle. Do you use any of those tools for reading, or do you use it for business as well?
I do use my iPad for business, but I don't use it for reading. We've got a couple of them here. I think we've got more Apple gear than the local Apple shop.
Tell me about it. I'm looking at it right now.
But basically, I will take my iPad out to a meeting. If I'm doing a business with somebody, I will use it to just go through Basecamp because it's a bit bigger than the iPhone, and it's a little more convenient than taking the MacBook Pro and setting up the dongle and all that sort of junk. So I think the iPad for me as a business tool is most useful just for Basecamp and also for skimming through my forum and just checking emails. But the other thing, if I want to take one of my children off to horse riding or to piano or whatever after school, then I can just use it in the car for half an hour while I wait. So it's sort of my portable device just to hook in. I'll check Facebook or Twitter, but I'm not really connected to the internet for the whole day anymore. People who know me will know that I'll log into Facebook or Twitter once a day or twice a day. I'm just not sitting on it the whole time, looking to utilize my time there. I'm sort of switching off more than I've ever switched off before, which is the other great thing. So just by having these portable devices doesn't mean you have to, have them grafted to your body.
Absolutely. I think also too, creating a lifestyle it's great to have all these tools and also the communication with people, but it's got to be limited to a certain extent. Like for me, a lot of guys ask me, where am I on Skype? And I'm not on Skype. People are messaging me and say, Taran, you there? And most people know that I'm invisible when I'm actually on Skype because I don't want to be chit-chatting or anything unless I need to have a meeting, e.g. like with yourself. But I try to stay connected through Facebook and Twitter and all those other forms, but still focus on productivity because once you get onto playing around with those things, it's very, very distracting if you don't control yourself. But it is a very, very good tool to use for those things. Also, too, I wanted to find out a little bit more about any upcoming projects that you might have as well, too. You've been very successful with setting up a lot of your businesses there. Have you got any new projects besides the one that you said, 32 domains that you've bought? Any new upcoming seminars? I
have a million projects. Just off the top of my head, I have, let's see. Well, a little bit of my effort at the moment is directed to training my Filipino team. We're moving into local business market in a little bit more detail. I've been doing that for, 4 years. And, a lot of people are now coming into the market saying it's hot and this and that. I mean, I really know how it works, and I'm automating the whole thing. I'm having them approach clients a special way, get the business, and then fulfill it automatically. So I think it's doable, and that will be a big part of our growth. I'm also developing probably close to 1,000 websites at the moment for domains that I've bought in the last 6 months. And some of them are very premium domains, and we're building out the websites, and then we're turning those into businesses. So we'll pick the best ones, and we'll collaborate with an offline business and then probably sell the entity. So that's another project. I have a live event coming up in a week and a half, which is very exciting because I've got my best sort of friends and experts who I collaborate with are flying in from overseas to share information at that. And I'm very excited because I've got experts like John Carlton and Ed Dale, and people who supply the products that I use, like the guy that runs my shopping cart called Josh Anderson. He owns Nanocast.
Yes.
And Mike Rhodes, who's a PPC expert. So we've got some really good people coming to that. We record those events, and then my next project after that will be to manage the launch of the DVDs from it. I've also got my mastermind groups going very well. It's in its second phase now, and I think I'll ramp that up. It's called Silver Circle, and people are getting astounding results from it. That's where we do our weekly calls, and I think they're basically tapping straight into my experience, and I'm able to live through their businesses as well, so I'm quite enjoying that. And, we've got an SEO business that's growing quite rapidly, and we have a web development company. And the affiliate marketing, I've got a few sort of surprises there too. I've got a number of products and a strategy around developing that out as well, trying to automate and leverage that as much as I possibly can. So that the first test of that went really well. I think we made $1,500 in the first few days of launching it, and it was pretty much completely done by my team. So where I could go and make a lot more money myself, the whole goal is to try and get it done by someone else. And when I can spin a few plates at once, then it works. And at the moment, my Filipino team is sitting at somewhere around 15 people, so I've got enough depth there to continue that and to grow it now at a nice sort of measurable rate because they're getting very skilled.
That's awesome. I know you've got so much going on there. It's unbelievable how some people can, like some people who are starting out even thinking, how does James juggle all these things all at once?
Basecamp.
That's what I thought.
That's a very good tool for organizing these sort of things because you can segment your projects and you can invite in people who relate to that project only, and you can set tasks. At the same time, I have about 5 one-on-one mentoring clients, and we use exactly the same process. We set action steps, and we do weekly review points. And it's business growth is automatic when you decide on the objective, you set the action steps, and then you measure them. It's easy to manage that. With an iPad and Basecamp, you can pretty much run a business these days from anywhere.
I've heard about that. I think some people are trying to do that or show that they can do it. And I think it's possible very, very much so right nowadays with so much of this technology that's available. It's really amazing. I'm like, I'm blown away by how many projects you're able to do at this point in time. I mean, some people like to focus, and I could see that you like to have a spread of things going on at the same time, which is awesome.
Yeah, I would say I'm a generalist, and it's not for everybody, but bear in mind that my last job, I had 72 staff, and I've been managing people and a business for at least the last 15 years. So it's definitely a skill set that I possess that not too many brand new internet marketers seem to share. Most of the people I help struggle with systems and growth, and especially when they're trying to outsource. A lot of people who have had no management experience really struggle to have good relations with their team or with their support crew. Sorry about the dogs there.
That's okay.
So I think that's definitely for me. It's just sort of it's as easy as riding a bike. Sorry. Yeah. So
that's a pretty good dog.
Well, we don't need a doorbell around here.
Well, before we finish up, James, is there anything you'd like to share with the audience as well? Like, how can people get in contact with you? And as you mentioned, you've got a seminar that's coming up. Is that still open for people to join in, or is that closed right now?
We actually reached the limit about 2 days ago. If someone wants to come, then they might want to contact me, maybe on Facebook. But it's at capacity. We only hold about, I think there's 220 seats in the room, and I think we're on 219. So, I've closed it off. We always sell out our events. We're not trying to get 600 people and sardine the thing. And with 20 experts, we actually have, there's one expert per 10 guests, which is very rare, and they stick around for the whole event. So, we didn't make this call to talk about the event, but
no, I just thought
it is. I only run these once or twice a year now because they take a bit of effort to put together, and I also want to make them valuable.
Absolutely. Well, you've definitely provided a lot of value on this call, and for me, I've even learnt something as well from you. So I'm keen to take on some more of your stuff as well down the track. All right, well, James, thank you so much for coming onto the call today. It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to find out a lot more about what you do and also talk about your lifestyle as well. And if anyone wants to get in contact with James, what's the best place to get you on?
I would go to internetmarketingspeed.com, and that's one of my primary blogs. Jump on that list there, because that's where I would send out my new projects or my new products. And there are no autoresponders on that thing. You're not going to get belted every 5 seconds in the inbox. You'll probably hear from me once every couple of weeks or once a month. The other place, of course, is Facebook. I've got a page up at fbjames.com that will take people straight to my Facebook page. So I post information there, and I've got a fan page as well for the Silver Circle, where I'm posting tips each week after our calls. I'm just getting some of the good little golden nuggets and putting them on that page for people. And from what I gather, people are enjoying that content.
Well, I know I am. Every time I listen to one of your postings, or also check out your newsletters, I'm blown away by the amount of information that you're able to provide. So thanks very much for that.
Yeah, it's awesome to catch up, and I'm pretty sure my dogs enjoyed it too.
Definitely. What's your dog's name, by the way?
We got a few here. There's Pronto, Barney, and Reese, and Max. Actually, we're minding someone else's. That's what the kerfuffle's about. Territorial wars going on. You can learn a lot about animal behaviour if you have more than one dog.
Yeah, I know. Well, my partner and I have been talking about getting a dog, so we're considering right now.
Oh, you should have a chat to my wife. She knows a lot about them.
I'll definitely get her onto it. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks very much again, James. It's time for the Outsourcing Live Quick Tip. Inside the Quick Tip, I want to share with you a review that I did on a site called OnlineJobs.ph. And this particular site is basically a job board or a job seeking website which attracts mostly Filipinos from the Philippines, and that allows them to be able to post their resumes online for you to go and search and find them. So if you are looking to hire a full-time, part-time, or even just a casual Filipino staff, this could be a potential website for you to check out and have a look. It's very similar to bestjobs.ph in what I recommended previously as well. The difference is that this was designed by an American internet marketer who actually put this whole site together and has refined it a little bit more. And it does have a ton of resumes here, which can be overwhelming if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. Now, I did a review on this site just to give you some pros and cons about it and to give you some comparisons to see and to show you what is the benefits and also the disadvantages of using a site like this. I personally have used it and it has worked out 50-50 for me, but the reason why I'm recommending it to you and to show this to you is to give you another option if you are not successful with other job websites. So you can actually access this site at www.OnlineJobs.ph. And also too, as I mentioned, I did do a review on my site and you can check out the review that I've done as well, which gives you an in-depth detail of what I've reviewed inside. And you can access that at outsourcinglive.com/OnlineJobs.ph-review. And inside there, I'll go through and take you through in the back actually and show you how I go about finding candidates inside and how it ranks. And furthermore, there's just a few extra tips that I give you and let you know what's good about and what's not good about the site. And you can make your own decision whether or not you should use this site as well. So it's just basically an open opinion, so that way you can get an idea. All right, if you've got any more comments on there, feel free to leave it down below in that video. And also too, to let me know if there are any questions as well. Now, if you like more resources like this one, you can find them inside Mass Outsource Mastermind, along with video tutorials and step-by-step instructions showing exactly how I use them. To get a 30-day no-risk trial membership to Mass Outsource Mastermind, simply visit freevideoset.com. Until next time, I wish you success in your quest for outsourcing.